That means that sometimes you gotta do things that are hard.
You're doing that thing not because you love that thing, but because you love that person.
All your dreams may not necessarily be good dreams.
You're absolutely right. I'm gonna show this video to you later.
I'm gonna show it to you later. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You are tuned in with Cindy and John, my husband. We are doing a video today discussing the ways we are able to support each other's dreams. So we've been married for 4 years now, going on 5, and we have found different ways to work together, to grow together, and just to help support each other. And in this video, we're gonna share some of that. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, so the first point and the first thing we like to do is discuss our priorities. So we like to be on the same page, discussing our individual priorities, our priorities together as a couple, as well as financial and other priorities.
You have to sort of work out, like, if you have big goals as a family and then you have individual goals, they might conflict with that. And so you have to figure out, sometimes things are seasons where we're going to focus on this now, but not later. And then sometimes things are, this doesn't fit in the overall plan just because it's something, I'd like to do. Yeah. Maybe it doesn't make sense now or ever,
right. So. Yeah, and something we always talk about is we only have so much time in a day. So if you try to accomplish his goal, this goal, that goal, 3 goals, you're not gonna get anything done. And so we have to be really smart about what we're doing and how we're doing it together, because we're always a team and we're always kind of trying to partner up so that we can, be on the same page always.
Yeah, it's important to focus your energy, because if you try to do 12 things at once, you'll do all of them badly. Yep.
In our marriage, one of the things that John has really helped support me with, and I have a video that if you guys haven't watched, go watch it, but it's my Olympic journey. So I was training the past 4 years for the Olympics, and John really was able to help me out in different ways that really made a difference for me. So not only did he create different tools that helped me with it, but he also came to the track, got content, and he supported me at different championships. He literally was at the Olympics with me, which was great. So yeah, those are just a few ways he was able to help me for that.
Yeah, training film, stuff like that. And that's an example of, this is a season where you need a lot of focus and energy on one thing because of where it is.
Yeah.
So that's something where maybe you set some other plans and goals aside.
Yeah, as soon as we got married, obviously I had to tell him hey, I'm an athlete, so maybe the next 5 years this is going to be.
You told me that before we got married.
Well, yes, obviously while we were dating, I said,
just so you know,
I'm an athlete, so that kind of requires a little bit of time. So, and he recognized that, and it wasn't like I can't do anything else. But like we said earlier, there's only so many things we can do, and that's something we had to focus on during that time.
So we were talking about the importance of focus. So I, delayed some things that I wanted to get started and get launched, moving forward with some of the products that I've been developing and those things, and sort of set those aside for a period of time while we focused on getting to Paris, getting through Paris, been able to put more time towards those things now in this season.
Yeah, so I'm able to help John with that, whether that's with content. So one thing we do is we like to use different skills, and because I've had experience with content as an athlete and marketing for brands, I'm able to help him with that project he's working on. So whether that's, marketing his stuff. So that's been helpful. With YouTube, you actually have a YouTube channel now. So I've been helping with creating shorts and all the other stuff for him with that, because as you know, I have a channel myself. So I'm able to help him in that regard.
You've done some video editing in the past.
Yeah, so I've done this a little bit. So, and also just emotional support. I think even just for the both of us, it's really important when you're supporting your spouse to be there emotionally for them, and that can look different for both parties.
Yeah, so emotional support from a woman's perspective is not necessarily the same as emotional support from a man's perspective, and it's important to continue to grow and develop and understand that, and understand how to love each other in the best way. It's really important to be on the same page, to be on board with each other. So we made a really big whiteboard. We made a video about that too.
Go check it out on his channel.
we starting off every single week, Sunday night, with having what we call the whiteboard meetings, where we get together and we discuss what is expected over the next week, anything that each of us has that's unusual or important, big things that have to happen, like the trash going out has to happen every week, and make sure that that's noted on the whiteboard so that we're both aware of it. It's helpful to talk through, these are the goals this week and what are the things that must happen. What are the non-negotiables to keep moving forward on the plan.
Right, and we'll have different colors. So I have a color of things I'll do, colors of things John will do, and it kind of helps us remember, oh yeah, that's his task, my task, and our together tasks. And then it just helps us to know, okay, each day we're working towards something together. And then even like I said, individually, what does that goal look like for us? I might have some meetings that John's aware of, and that also could be going to the fact that maybe having a calendar could be helpful for you too. There's a shared calendar that you guys both can see. That just really helps you get on the same page.
Or in this case, on board.
On the same board. Another thing that you really want to focus on is remembering that it's a sacrifice sometimes, and you're not going to always do things you want to do. So when you're working with a spouse or somebody that you love and you're trying to help support them, that means that sometimes you got to do things that are hard. And so yeah, that's something we do in our marriage. Like John doesn't know much about track. Well, he didn't know much about track before me, and I feel like now you know a lot more just because you're involved, and not that you have to be. Yeah, you don't have to be, but you want to because you love me, and it was something that was important to me, and vice versa. Like with his business, I'm learning different things that I wouldn't have known beforehand because I'm trying to help support him. So just researching and doing the things that help him feel most supported and loved, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's definitely a process of you're doing that thing not because you love that thing, but because you love that person. And I mean, that's just being an adult. Those are the challenges that come with it and come with a marriage, is understanding, the things that you need to do to support the family and the goals that are out there, and not everything is fun all the time, right?
No.
And that's
adulting.
As the kids say these days, doing the thing that needs to be done, even if you don't want to, especially if you don't want to.
Yeah, and I think that goes into a good point too of following up on your commitments to each other. So if you have a commitment, you say, hey, I'm going to help you out with this, really try to do that. I mean, we're not perfect, so I'm always going to do that, but sometimes, like filming this video, for instance, maybe John wasn't the most excited, but he did say he was going to do that with me. If he has something he really wants to do, I will do it because, I'm going to follow through on my commitment. So just making sure you do what you promised the other.
Mm-hmm. It's always important with, most of the goals that we have in life are going to involve some sort of money at some point, where it's an enabling factor or necessary or whatever it is. If you want to build a house, you're going to need some amount of money to make that start, right? So it's important to be aware of that, and in being faithful in the small things, like throughout the week, if you're just like, I want to go to Starbucks and this, that, and the other, but that isn't part of the budget, you're hurting your future together by not being cognizant about those things. So there's nothing wrong with those things, but if you're in a season especially where you're trying to hit big goals quickly, then you really need to be mindful of those things and be aware that you doing something is setting not just you behind, but you're now responsible to the family, right? And so that's something to be mindful of, that your choices and your decisions don't stop with you. They impact your family.
That's huge.
Because you're in a family.
Yep. You need to have finances to do certain dreams. And so if you're just willy-nilly spending.
Most dreams.
Yeah, if you're just spending and not paying attention to your finances, you're not going to get there. And so like you said, you're together. So just because I might want to spend $1,000 on something that doesn't make sense right now, maybe I shouldn't do it because my husband's involved, or vice versa. So being on the same page there really does help support each other's dreams for the future.
Exactly. So always being mindful and, looking out for the team.
Yep.
Marriage is a team sport.
Just all these points kind of highlighted, it's really just a team aspect, work together. And that's something we like to focus on, whether that's, adjusting. So sometimes one thing that worked in one season might not work now. And sometimes I'll ask John, what do you need now from me? And I think just being on the same page is always helpful. And don't forget that it's not just you. If you're in a marriage, you're together and your dreams become their dreams. Don't get jealous of what they're doing or vice versa, because at the end of the day, your win is his win is your win.
Absolutely. It is a team sport, and in a team sport, the team wins together.
I think another important point to highlight is that all your dreams may not necessarily be good dreams. And so it's okay if your spouse is challenging it a little bit. Sometimes it might ask questions. It's good to be realistic at times.
You're absolutely right. I'm going to show this video to you later.
I'm going to show it to you later.
That's true. Iron sharpens iron idea. You push each other, and sometimes that means pushing back on an idea or a solution or a goal, and figuring out if that truly makes sense. That doesn't mean that you're a dream killer, so you have to find the right balance of being honest and giving people really good feedback and being supportive.
Yeah.
All support for everything all the time is not normally healthy.
Oh yeah.
Being a dream killer all the time is
not
very bad. That's not supportive, right? So the appropriate point lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And you have to be very thoughtful about that. Not all your ideas necessarily make sense long term as you're walking through it, and some of your dreams and goals are going to shift as you go through life. you know?
Yes, and it's good to make adjustments and, you know, just to be like, okay, you know, I had that dream when I was 20. It no longer really exists, so let me just not continue trying to chase it. So it's okay to make those adjustments as time goes on. So we hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. If you found it helpful or useful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We'll be doing some more content together in the future regarding relationships and other topics just like this. And yeah, we'll both see you in another video. Bye.
What was that?
I don't know. So I think another important point, sorry, go out there and reach those goals. He's reaching for his goal.
Did I get it?
No, you didn't. All right, bye.